Hello, 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 everyone on screen. This is So Many Robots, bringing you Week 7 of the Dota Battles 3K to 4K MMR League. Yep, there's my loading screen coming up on stream. We should be good to go, everybody. I'm excited. This week should be a fine match. Hello, 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 everyone. This is So Many Robots casting tonight with Vic for the
Let's keep
Dota
it
Battles
clean,
3K to
folks.
4K MMR Captain's Draft League. This is Team USA versus Team Auspicious. Vic, are you with me?
I am with you. How are you doing today, robots?
Excellent,
Dyer's
excellent.
ban.
Having a very good evening. Let's take a look at the pool real quick. Tell me, Vic, anything really jumping out at you in terms of this pool? I'm seeing a lot of very nice support heroes today.
Yeah, there's lots of supports and a lot of really popular carries in the agility section. A lot of really relevant heroes.
Radiant's
We've been seeing
ban.
some Dro Ranger, especially in this league. That's been pretty successful. And then Void, Luna, and Spectre, and Naga are all pretty popular right now.
Definitely some very trendy heroes going on. I'm personally going to put in a vote. I want somebody to run a Fnatic Hani mid lane Earthshaker. Do you happen to watch that one?
Taking Bristleback all that recently,
Dyer's pick.
but it's still a pretty solid ban just because it's such a good hero
Radiant's pick.
and a constant fighting type of game.
Definitely, definitely. We see Team USA coming out with the first pick Crystal Maiden. Solid support, very flexible, has the ability to jungle if your lane is passive enough to allow her to step off for a second.
Yeah, definitely. I would think to look for some ranged stuns here, maybe an Earthshaker, maybe Tidehunter against the Crystal Maiden, maybe just try to break up her ultimate. They could also just go for ganking lineup like Slardar or even a Spectre, Shadow Shaman. They can just blow up a Crystal Maiden so quickly. And Shadow Fiend, pretty good pick.
Dyer's
Shadow
pick.
Fiend and Shadow Shaman both, so Team Auspicious appears to be going... they can't go full-on Shadow Strat, only 2 Shadow heroes are in the game. Dang.
Yeah, there's the Shadow Demon, yeah.
Oh no, you're right, there is the Shadow Demon, you're right, I really want them to go for that. That's what I want right now.
Yeah. That could work, especially if they get something like a Dro Ranger. Someone who's pretty good to disrupt. Even like a Void or a Riki would be really okay disruption targets, especially if Riki gets like a Diffusal.
Yeah, I definitely like...
Necro is really
pick.
interesting.
That is an interesting pick. I definitely like for Team Auspicious your mention of the Drow. With Shadow Fiend, Shadow Shaman, both very strong, strong ranged mid lane carry. A safe lane Drow can actually buff him up very nicely because he'll benefit from that aura. And with the Shadow Fiend on the mid, you don't really need an ultra late game carry. You can
Radiant's
get away
pick.
with that Drow. But now we have the Slardar coming out for Team USA.
Yeah, and against Slardar and Necrophos, I don't think Shadow Fiend would be tanky enough to kind of be the front lines. So Dro could be kind of risky, just because a Slardar and a Necrophos, plus the Crystal Maiden, all of those are pretty good at just like laying down some damage to these squishy ranged heroes.
Yeah, I'm curious. I can't remember now, Vic. Can you? Is Team America the team that we've seen in this league who enjoy running their support Necrophos? Is that these guys?
I'm pretty sure this is our first time casting Team USA, so I don't think it was them.
Okay, it must have been somebody else. I got Team USA last week, but you were on break, so we were missing out on you. And there's that Drow you called for, and a Brewmaster coming out too.
Dyer's
Very
pick.
interesting.
Yeah, Brewmaster, Drow, and Shadow Fiend are all cores. So this means they're looking to run a solo Brew, a solo Shadow Fiend, and probably a Dro Ranger lane. Enchantress and Lion would be great picks. I think Shadow Demon could also work there. Shadow Demon's a pretty defensive support, whereas Lion and Enchantress... Lion is more of a ganker and Enchantress is a bit of a pusher.
Dyer's pick.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that.
I honestly... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, I definitely agree with you about those lanes. I'm curious, I'm wondering if Team
10
Auspicious
seconds to
might
go.
even consider going aggro. I don't know how Drow Ranger does in aggro tri-lanes. I don't
5
think I've
seconds.
seen it before.
I think they actually definitely could. Team USA
Radiant's
drafted
pick.
Darkseer, Tidehunter, and Slardar, which is 3 melee heroes. And I don't think melee heroes like them, I don't think either of those 3 heroes could hold up well in lane against sustained harass. And everyone on the Team
10
Auspicious, everyone
seconds
except
to
for
go.
Brewmaster, is gonna have really good just like harass in lane.
Alright, and
And
there's...
I think it'll be an offensive try.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see if Team Auspicious is going to choose to run those lanes. Team America has a lineup that's really just brutally strong in the mid-game, with the teamfight potential of Darkseer and Tide, the incredible tankiness and damage that is Slardar, and the Necrophos to keep everybody topped off.
Yeah, in a game, I think we're looking for like key timing items. So Tidehunter, Slardar, and Brewmaster, we're gonna have to pay attention to who gets their blinks first, and who's able to use their blinks first. And for Shadow Fiend, he's really waiting for that BK. Whoever gets those items, I think they're gonna get that mid-game advantage.
Definitely, definitely. Let's go
Everybody
ahead
get set.
and get started taking a look at our lineups. I'll start off with Team Auspicious over on the Radiant. We have Rain and Fire taking that Shadow Fiend over towards the mid lane. Uncle Drippery, our team captain, going for what looks like an solo off-lane Brewmaster. And the tri-lane setting up on bottom. I Poo Rainbows on the Shadow Shaman. I'm just going to pronounce this plus equals love on the Lion. And Drunk Bear gonna be farming up that Drow Ranger.
Great. And on the Dire team, which is Team USA, we have Flimmykins on Necrolite. Looks like he's gonna go mid. The Dire team's just securing their own jungle right
30
now.
seconds to
Looks like the
showtime.
defensive tri-lane with the support with Frack, Torn Chewy on the Tidehunter, Frack on the Crystal Maiden, and then Not a Virus on the carry Slardar. They're gonna chase down Uncle Drippery right now as early wards come out.
Yeah, just trying to chase him out, but they're a little too late. He's already got his wards down, but they might have gotten wind that he'd blocked up this pole camp for them.
Yeah,
away we
and just
go.
to finish it up, we have Steep Hill on Darkseer in the bottom lane. And he's gonna grab that early illusion rune, which is probably the worst
Got a
rune right
feeling
now
this is
for
gonna be
him, but
good.
he can use it to pull off some tricks. Maybe block some camps or make the other team think that he's there when he's not. He's probably gonna use them to block.
No need on the pole camp. He already put down a sentry for it.
Yeah, it looks like he's going for confusion, I guess.
I'm gonna check real quick on who Team USA's captain is. Why don't you talk about how these lanes are starting to shape up?
Missing top.
Yeah, so we have a Darkseer on the bottom lane against a defensive tri-lane, which is the triple ranged heroes for Radiant. The triple ranged heroes are actually going to be really good at killing the Ion Shelled creeps. So I think Darkseer has his work cut out for him. This is going to be a very difficult lane for him to get experience in. We see some pings come out top. It's another defensive tri-lane, and this is an equally tough matchup. Brewmaster doesn't have an escape, and he doesn't have his tankiness ability, Drunken Brawler, yet, which means that the Dire team's gonna have a pretty easy killing him if they can get some spells off. It looks like they almost went for a Gush. There it is, the Gush and the Frostbite come out. Drippery drops pretty low. It's at about half health right now, but he's able to walk away.
Yeah, and I think I was checking. I think Torn Chewy is the captain for Team USA, and you're absolutely right. That Brewmaster, I think, is going to have a very rough time up there. Steep Hill, meanwhile, took some damage down on bottom lane, but not going to go down just yet.
Yeah, against 3 ranged heroes, there's extremely little a Darkseer can do. Ion Shell is a pretty small range, and it's not even close to like the 600 that all these heroes have. They can just blow up the creature with the Ion Shell on it, or let it push and control the wave exactly where they want it, while at the same time zoning out the Darkseer.
Yeah, normally Darkseer is one of those heroes who does a fantastic job of getting farm even in the offlane, but we can see right now Steephill's sitting at just 1 CS so far, so he's really getting shut down there.
Yeah, I mean right now Darkseer doesn't really have a place in the meta just because in lane, if you can set up some strong ranged heroes, the Ion Shell is just moot.
Alright, so we've got a quick
Especially against heroes.
quick pause coming out. Gonna give plus equals love a chance to restart his client. He's having some lag issues. Just bear with us for a minute. This will give me a chance to check with the team real quick on how on earth we're supposed to pronounce his name.
That sounds perfect. And yeah, going over just some of the matchups here, Shadow Fiend seems to be doing pretty well against Necrolite, leading in last hits, and he has a good bit of experience above the Necrolite also, or the Necrophos. So Raining Fire doing really well on this Shadow Fiend. If he can start to get pickoffs before the ultimates come online for Team USA, Shadow Fiend combined with just the Drow passive could really just take over the game.
Alright, and I'm getting confirmation from Uncle Drippery, the captain for Team Auspicious, that plus equals love, our Lion player who we're currently waiting on, that is 12, who we have seen before in previous weeks. So if you're confused at all, that's going to be 12, and we're going to be referring to him as such. Hopefully we can keep it straight.
Yeah, we've definitely played with, or casted these fine men before, and I'm not sure who's on the Shadow Shaman.
I poo rainbows. Let's try to check that one real quick.
I think it might be Thuggle. I'm not sure.
His name on the roster is Lucky, but I think that is the player who was tagged up as Thuggles in the lobby.
Oh, great. Looks like everyone's here and ready to go.
All right, carry on.
Alright, as we get back underway, we'll see things all quiet right now. A little bit of an engagement between Torn Chewy and Uncle Drippery on the Tide, and the Brewmaster Tide's going to get kind of low here, but not a virus. And Frack are going to come threaten and send Uncle Drippery back to his tower.
Yeah, definitely. Tidehunter is one of those heroes that functions extremely well against certain matchups. So against Brewmaster, I think Tidehunter is really, really good because he can just anchor smash if Brewmaster tries to get even a single last hit. And Gush combined with this Kraken Shell make him really hard to kill.
Frostbite comes out on Uncle Drippery, followed up by the Gush, but he's going to get away. Did a lot of damage to Frack and Torn Chewy with the Thunderclap there.
Yeah, he has a lot of health, and it looks like he went an early point in stats just to get even more strength right now, as opposed to maybe getting a bracer or something like that.
Meanwhile, down here...
Darkseer in the jungle.
Yeah, I was just going to say, down here in the bottom lane, Steephill's given up on getting anything out of that jungle, and he's just trying to get what he can out of Radiant's jungle.
Yeah, that lane is difficult for him. Although, I think if the Dire team weren't being so half-assed top with their gank attempts, that the Brewmaster would be having a much harder time, at least should be, but seems like he's not at the moment.
Yeah, the bright side is that with Crystal Maiden and Tidehunter not really committing, just kind of harassing Uncle Drippery back, they have given great XP over to Not a Virus EXE on the Slardar, who's level 4, tied with the Brewmaster, and only about 1 level behind the mid players, so really doing nicely for himself up there.
That is nice, although Tidehunter and Crystal Maiden are really, really nice with levels. So I like how the Radiant is leveling up all their supports.
Yeah, definitely Frack still at level 1 on that Crystal Maiden, and we can see over in the mid lane, 12 and Ipu Rainbows have smoked up and look like they're heading in towards mid. Yep, out come the pings. They're going to try to wrap around on Flimmikins here.
Necrolite is kind of a squishy hero, but still really hard to take down because of Death Pulse.
Alright,
so
out comes Hex, followed up by the Earth Spike and the Shackle. Shackle a little bit early, but very, very easy kill. Feeding a nice first blood to Rain and Fire on that Shadow Fiend, who we haven't really talked about so far, is absolutely dominating his lane, and that's not gonna hurt him one bit.
Oh yeah,
Radiant's
and I just did the
bottom
math
tower
real
seen
quick,
better days.
which I know in the lobby I said I couldn't do. Oh, Brewmaster gets a kill on the Crystal Maiden up top. That's a really nice kill for him. Drippery is doing extremely well in this lane, even though I thought it would be very hard for him to get anything out of it.
Yeah, offlane Brewmaster is one of those matchups that you really have to harass him out early, because if you let him get up to level 3, 4, 5, the damage on Thunderclap is much higher than you expect, and he can dish out a lot of damage real quick to some underleveled supports.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I was before this I was saying that the support combo, the Shadow Shaman and Lion, are really good because they have a 5 seconds of uninterrupted stun basically between them at level 3. In addition to a nuke and a mana drain. So I would like to see them being even more active on the map and using that to get more kills.
Yeah, Flimmikins definitely didn't stand a prayer in mid lane. We can see quick TP coming out from Frack. I think that got cancelled. That might have even been a misclick trying to place his wards.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart. Dire's top tower's getting beat down.
Right, all quiet for the most part. Getting some comments about the music on stream, so I might go ahead and turn that down just a little bit. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, and we see Drippery being extremely aggressive in this top lane. He's in the Dire jungle right now. He doesn't even have mana for Thunderclap, and I think this could be a kill right here. He gets Anchor Smash, Frostbite, Gush, takes everything from the support combo.
Next Frostbite's going to be off cooldown in just a moment, but Drippery gets away just a little bit. He's already got treads, and those bootsless
Dire's
supports
top
can't keep
tower,
up with him.
You know the drill.
If this Slardar came in for 1 stun, I really feel like they could have gotten a kill much earlier, and I feel like they should have. If Drippery doesn't get shut down, this game is going to look really hard for the Dire, and it already is looking much harder for the Dire than the Radiant at this moment.
Yeah, Notavirus has been getting some really nice farm, but I agree with you. I'd love to see him trying a little bit harder to force Uncle Drippery out, get himself some kills, because Slardar, while he's a good farmer, he's really more of a snowball hero, needs those kills to get what he needs in time for the mid-game when his power peaks. And we're going to see Uncle Drippery is going to go on Frack, doing a lot of damage, takes him down, but he's got an amp damage off on him. Notavirus going to try to chase him out, not going to pop the sprint yet, got another Slitherine Crush in 2 seconds, and he's just going to back off.
I don't believe that.
Dire's mid tower could use a little help.
I don't understand why he didn't go for that kill. Between sprint and another crush, which he clearly had mana for, I think he could have just straight up killed the Brewmaster.
I think I've got to agree that was a misplay on Notavirus' part. I think he had more than decent odds on taking that Brewmaster down.
Yeah, maybe he was thinking that the supports would be near there, but I saw both of the Radiant supports.
Could use a hand.
It looked like they were on the map in the bottom lane, so I think it was really questionable for him not to chase him down.
And we're going to see Frack and Torn Chewy. Looks like they're just trying... There we are. They were... Oh, crucial miscommunication there. Torn Chewy smokes up the two of them, and Frack decides he'd rather jungle instead. So we've got a solo smoke Tidehunter, going to make a move, see if he can do anything. I think he's just going back to his lane. Meanwhile, I missed a kill on the Darkseer down on bottom.
Yes, Tri-Lane just destroyed him.
Something about that bottom tower.
That's from Dro Ranger. Once there's 1 point in marksmanship, you can basically just put a ton of pressure on tower. You see Dro hitting really hard right now, 135, 140. And we're 9.5 minutes into the game. It's a lot of damage coming out in auto attacks.
Yeah, I'll be curious seeing what build she goes for. I'd assume that their plan is to use the Drow to provide a lot of mid-game pressure, buy that Shadow Fiend a little bit more time to become a really terrifying late-game carry. And we can see Rain and Fire's opted for the Midas, so he's definitely aiming for the late game on his Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, and he's a good bit ahead of anybody else at the moment.
Yeah, 76 CS, 1.5 times as far ahead as Notavirus on that Slardar. A really excellent farm coming out of that Shadow Fiend, and Uncle Drippery gonna try to chase down Frack. Not gonna get him, one hit shy. Very close call for Frack. Good decision making on TPing out when he did there.
Yeah, the Necrophos just got away from a Shadow Race from the Shadow Fiend, so that was some pretty good positioning from Flimmykins.
And there we can see, looking at the items, that's the Blink Dagger up on Notavirus, so this is his time to start getting active around the map. We'll see if he can make things happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is the moment that he was not fighting for, essentially. If he doesn't do anything with the Blink, I don't know what Dire could do.
See a ping coming out from Ipu Rainbows. Looks like Shadow Shaman and Lion are going to smoke up again, make another rotation. Looks like this is going to be another attempt at mid lane, probably.
Yeah, and if they get a successful kill here, they're going to be very close to their ultimates. Which means it'll just go right into another kill for Lion and a tower for Shadow Shaman.
Bottom tower.
So this is where the Radiant are going to stretch their lead if they can.
They're coming up to top lane where there's Torn Chewy here playing pretty defensive. Not defensive enough. He's going to run.
Right,
yeah, he really can't afford to be away from his tower with this many enemies off the map. They're all going to wrap around behind him. Hex comes out, followed up by the Earth Spike. He doesn't have a chance. Shackle in a very easy kill for Uncle Drippery.
Yeah, that was still a really good trade for the Dire team. What they did is they moved the Crystal Maiden and Slardar to mid lane to kill the Shadow Fiend. So I think that's well worth the 1-for-1. Shadow Fiend was way ahead.
Yeah, definitely a good trade. Bringing down that massive Shadow Fiend. Level 11 already for him. Already got an Ogre Club. So slowing down his progress on that BKB, which is going to come out very, very early for him this game. Oh, and we see a blink from Notavirus onto Uncle Drippery. Flimmykins comes out, spams out the Death Pulse, but Uncle Drippery is going to get away without too much trouble.
Yeah, Notavirus is just being extremely passive, even when he's at full health. He's playing a really tanky strength hero. He has 8 armor already. I do not think he should be staying passive and farming even after the post Blink Dagger.
Mid tower won't last much longer.
Yeah, I'd really prefer if they would give over more of this farm to someone like Torn Chewy on the Tidehunter, maybe. Let him get up some arcanes. Let him get started on that Blink Dagger. And really make more happen with this Slardar. They already got that 1 kill on the Shadow Fiend, but I'd love to see more coming out.
Definitely. Tidehunter is going to get in a pretty aggressive position here. I think this could backfire if the Radiant respond well. So Dire have a really nice ward just watching over this whole mid lane. So they know everything that's happening at this moment.
What's with all the
I'm really a fan.
Lion just walked into the ward range.
This is a very nice ward position. Oh, and we're going to see blink in from Notavirus. Tons of damage coming out. Nice 2-man Earth Spike coming out from 12. Torn Chewy shows up, throws the gush, doesn't have Ravage yet. Uncle Drippery, big Thunderclap, pops his ult. Pandas respond, going to chase down. Do they have enough? They're able to stop Frack. Goes down to a Shadow Raise. Lots of damage coming out from the bird. Cyclone up on Notavirus. Torn Chewy also goes down. And that's going to be the end of that. Very nicely done by Team Auspicious. Oh, no, not done yet.
From Slardar.
Oh, not enough, not enough. Oh, and they lose the Necrophos for it.
Yeah, these are a long series of questionable decisions coming out from the Dire. As the wards come out, and this is going to be a tower made for the Radiant team.
Yeah, Notavirus is cleaning up the wards on the backside, actually, which might be a bit of a mismatch. Alright, there we go. They're going to chase him off the wards. They're all low, so a big TP effort could turn this around.
They don't have a Ravage up, they don't have a Crystal Maiden ulti, and they don't have a Darkseer wall vacuum combo.
Oh, and they clear off the Serpent Wards right as the tower enters deny range.
The Dire.
Yeah, that was a good move, but the XP difference right now is really showing itself. They don't have any of their ultis. They aren't able to do anything against early aggression.
Yeah, just looking over at the hero levels, Tide and Crystal Maiden both stuck at level 6. 11 on that Shadow Fiend, way ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, that's the Midas paying dividends really quickly. And those extra levels in the Shadow Rays plus the ultimate, Requiem of Souls, I think that's going to decide the game if he gets to be in position to use them.
And we can see Rain and Fire wants to farm up this jungle camp, and it's Mud Golems. Everybody hates Mud Golems. He's not going to be able to raise those down.
Top tower's hurting.
Yeah, they're definitely the worst camp.
Someday I want to meet the one guy who likes finding Mud Golems and ask him what the hell is wrong with him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you really want to meet that guy?
I can see Torrent Shui is smoked up in mid, but it's another solo smoke. Doesn't have anybody else moving with him, but he is 6. Just hit 6, got his Ravage.
Do something about that bottom tower.
So this might be the moment for Team USA to try to get a big turnaround. Hope for a big Ravage and get a couple kills off of it.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower? The Dire went and fortified their structures.
Meanwhile, over on bottom lane, looks like the Serpent Wards have gone down at this tier 2. But not a whole lot of support coming in from the Radiant, so Team USA might actually just be able to farm these up.
Yeah, the wards this game have been pretty questionable, to be honest. And this Brewmaster just got a kill on the Darkseer top. I think Drippery's been playing really excellently. Brewmaster is not an easy hero in this situation. He's been dominating.
Yeah, my only real question about Uncle Drippery is he opted for the Power Treads instead of the Arcane Boots that I think are a lot more standard on Brewmaster, because all of his abilities cost so much mana to spam those out with the 150 mana cost on Thunderclap, and his natural mana pool is frankly terrible.
Yeah, and Shadow Shaman is the only support that bought Arcane Boots, which means that usually you can go treads if you have like 1 or 2 pairs of Arcane Boots on your team. But yeah, I agree. He's just not gonna have mana for a while unless he builds an item that maybe some mana regen would do really well for him, like a Void Stone.
It looks... oh, Notavirus is not going to C12 up in that jungle. That could have been a very easy kill for that Slardar, potentially. Or maybe not, actually, because the Lion is level 8, has 6 assists. 12 is rolling in money and is actually only about 400 gold away from a mechanism for his team.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent timing. Especially if he's able to get another kill. If he can kill somebody with a finger and get the mech right now, that's gonna just put the nails in the coffin.
Yeah, really, these rotations by 12 and Ipu Rainbows have been excellent, getting a ton of kills. Really gotten them a huge advantage in levels over their count. Well, I guess the level advantage has evened out a little bit. As we can see, Team USA supports have both caught up and have both hit level 6.
Yeah, now we see a BKB on the Shadow Fiend, so the Radiant team is just going to be pushing the issue.
Oh, the Notavirus blinks in on Uncle Drippery. Amp damage up, but the Brewmaster pops his ult. Rain and Fire comes, blows the Requiem, doesn't hit anything, but Team USA is already in retreat. Steephill gets caught up by the Pandas. He's going to go down. Torn Chewy's cycloned up. He's going to come down. Pops the Ravage to try to save his own life, but it's not going to be enough. Gets hexed up. Gust. Torn Chewy just barely going to make it to the high ground, only to eat a raise. Frak gets shackled up on the other side. Uncle Drippery blinks in. Thunderclaps, Flimmikins gets the kill, but immediately gets blown up by those wards and that enormous Shadow Fiend.
Radiant's top tower's taking hits.
Yeah, this game's been extremely one-sided.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
I wouldn't be surprised if a GG call came out right here. There's really very little in the way of a comeback mechanic for the Dire team at this point.
It's got problems.
Yeah, they have a lineup that's really banking on the mid game, and they're 15,000 gold behind at 20 minutes.
That's 4 in a row.
Yeah, it's a wombo combo lineup, and they haven't womboed or comboed in this game yet.
For you.
Yeah, this set of racks is going to go down very easily, and I agree with that. I would not be at all surprised if the GG comes out soon. Rain and Fire is just absolutely huge on this Shadow Fiend, and there's no real hard carry on Team USA. They've got the Slardar, but at 1, 2, and 1, he really just doesn't have what he needs to make that impact.
Yeah, I mean, there's a 17k gold difference 20 minutes in the game. That's almost impossible to come back from. And the Drow Ranger finishes a Mask of Madness and a Manta Style at the same time. I think that just right there shows how far ahead they are.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, and I'm curious what Rain and Fire is going to go for his next item on the Shadow Fiend. Already got the BKB, hiding some of that net worth in his Hand of Midas.
I'd love to see a Blink Dagger come out right now. It looks like he's going to go with a Manta Style.
Yep, just going to be a Yasha for him.
Yeah, he's really not that far from a Manta, which is going to be really big.
Yeah, not that Manta's a bad item on Shadow Fiend at all. I just love seeing Blink Requiems.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, personally, I think when you're this far ahead, you should try to go for some different items, but it looks like they're trying to end this as quickly as possible. Everybody getting the most efficient item at this minute.
Now we're going to see 12 catches on Notavirus, and we're going to get hacks. Lots of fighting going on. Uncle Drippery pops the ult, Notavirus gets shackled up, stuns out 12. Ravage comes out, only catches 2, and I didn't see if Rain and Fire was BKB'd first. Frack going to go down very fast with those huge right clicks from the Shadow Fiend.
Tower could use a little help.
Alright, looks like Vic might be having some mic
Can't
issues,
do
but
nothing
that
about dire structures right now.
was a...
Hello?
Alright, you're back with me, Vic.
Yeah, this Shadow Fiend's hitting for 250 damage a hit. That's insane.
Dire couldn't hang on to that mid tower.
Yeah, this is going to be a second pair of racks.
mid-racks is getting
18-3 is the kill line, and the GG comes out from Torn Cherry.
Dire's mid-rags didn't make it.
Yeah, that was a
Dire's top towers getting beat. The Radiant done it.
uniquely fast game. Very one-sided.
Yeah, not the fastest game we've seen yet in Dota battles, but I think actually pretty close, and possibly the biggest score differential on the KD board.
Yeah, I mean, I think that game was over 5-10 minutes ago. But just in summary, it looks like Team USA wasn't able to set up lanes that could actually win, and Slardar just wasn't aggressive enough early enough. And I think those two, the lanes and then just Slardar not chasing down heroes and using his health more liberally, really made it hard for the Dire team to do anything against a really solid lineup from the Radiant team.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd love to have seen more aggression coming out from Team USA. Maybe I wasn't a big fan of the Darkseer pick. Darkseer's really... He's a very solid offlaner, of course, but he's a little bit more late game oriented. I would have loved to see somebody like a bounty hunter, not that there was a bounty in the pool, but just another hero who could have contributed to their big mid-game lineup that they didn't quite pull off, but I would have liked to see more aggression and sort of more commitment to that idea.
Yeah, and my issue was that it's kind of a mid-game wombo combo lineup, but they didn't level up the Darkseer or the Crystal Maiden ultimates early, which combo extremely well with Tidehunter. And they didn't even go for the wombo combos, and the two heroes they have, Slardar and Necrophos, they're not the best at like the wombo combo style fights. They would rather chase people down or have like a really long sustained fight instead of just bursting everyone. Something like, even like a Spectre for the team fights, some other carry, I don't know, some other cores I think might have been better for their lineup.
Alright, I think we could probably talk about this at length. We're gonna go ahead and get out, head back to the lobby, and hopefully we'll have game 2 starting up for you very soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been So Many Robots and Vic. Hope you stick around.